I'm crazy excited about it.
And I know you mentioned like that, of course, behind the scenes, or we should say backstage again.
Backstage.
Where you said like, you're not sure whether it's too saturated, but I'm like, that's the wave right now. People are listening. People are learning from like all those personal experiences.
Yeah.
I think if you have something to say, why not use it as a platform?
Oh my God. Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's to give you guys context. I have always wanted to start a podcast for like the longest time, but have been pushing myself on it. I don't know why. Therapy. I don't know why. Like I've just been not doing the thing that I love to do the most. I guess maybe because, you want to pay the bills and etc. and stuff like that. But talking and connecting to people has always been what I've always loved,
Yeah.
And now I'm ready for it. Now I'm like, okay, let's do it. I don't know how it's gonna be. I'm not set up as beautifully as you are over here.
Listen, just baby steps.
Baby steps. The
steps.
problem about being a content creator already
Yeah.
is that because I know so much about creation of content, I really do want to start like at the top. I'm like, oh my God, I want it to look good because this is my area of expertise. But then it's a baby and it's starting out, and I have to be patient and just let it like grow.
I think that's one of the things that maybe slow down like a lot of people. It's not just
Really?
you. Yeah, because now you're hesitant. You're like every time.
Oh my God, 100.
You're like, okay, maybe until I can get this camera. But by the time you get that camera, there's another camera that Sony or Canon or Nikon is releasing. You know that, right?
Yeah,
so by the time you get to that one, there's another one that's out.
But
if it's
for me,
mics,
I just want two cameras. Just have one. Like it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, but also that's the same problem, yeah.
Yeah, still.
But, I really want people to be able to watch me and like see different angles. I know I'm doing that thing. I know I can feel myself
but
doing it.
But you see, that already shows that you're giving yourself already an obstacle.
I am.
Already, even before you start,
my God,
like an obstacle
what am
already.
I doing?
And that's crazy because now I can only imagine like now how much it can also interfere like the whole other part of maybe the creative process. Maybe it's a venue, like, okay, this venue is not good enough for me.
Oh, that's literally my
Now you
struggle.
see. No, you have to.
I'm giving myself so many obstacles because I really want to start at the top and not at the bottom like everybody else.
No, I think that with everything, even the way you're talking about resilience with work and things that you learned even from like just working in a wedding company, I think the process, that's one thing that will make you appreciate even like once you get to like maybe a certain level that you are dreaming of.
Oh my
because
God.
all those small things you learn in the
I
process of doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you're really therapizing me right now. I'm like, I might just leave this space. I change to human being. I might actually just even get home and record on my tiny ass camera.
Trust me. It's just one of those things. I don't know how I can explain it, but for me now, because I remember even going to like live events and actually recording something similar, like just putting a setup there, like music is blasting, people are passing, waiters.
That, eh?
Yes, and I had mics here and there. And
God.
I'm like, you know what, because now for me I'm looking at it this way. I'm like, okay, if I'm trying to look for a space to shoot, it's really, really hard, right?
It's so hard.
Okay, if anyone gives you a location to use, how much will they charge you? They'll tell you like 15 Gs maybe, just for the space. If it's plus gear and everything, it might pay even 35.
Yeah.
That's for one recording. And it can go higher. So now here's the thing. My thought process was like, if I pay 1,500 to go to this event, right? Automatically I have
Simple
a pass.
math. It's a business.
It's quite basic.
Simple math.
1,500 for a ticket. And I can come with my camera. Yeah, I can set up my tripod. Yeah, I can put microphones and everything.
Gosh.
Yeah. So first of all, the venue already is how much? 1,500. Pap, that's done. Okay, around the venue, the food and drinks, right? Anyone that I might pull and just ask them for an interview, they already have a refreshment already like in their hand. So that's not my expense. They've already covered that as well. So So sit down. So if there's anything else going on, if like you have like, those two girls who are serving shots at the event and everything, or somebody's like passing by with small snacks and stuff, you can also engage with them as you're still recording. That's extra, Nini. If there's branding there, automatically there's branding there. that you don't even have to ask the company or whatever. So you're like, you know what? Just set up. So 1,500 was my cost for
Gosh,
booking this
really,
space.
my brain is...
Yeah. And I was doing my interviews. So I was like,
Crackling.
I was just like, how is it that people are not doing this? Because this is the easiest way to get
You know what the
away
funniest
with.
thing is? I've thought about that. But I always find a reason to
Not
make
to.
myself not do it. I'm like, it's gonna be too noisy. There's really no point in me going to film at an event. It's gonna be too noisy. So no. It's gonna be stressful. I have thought about the stressful part, like me carrying a tripod and carrying whatever. And then I start to think about, the approaching everybody and talking, and then you start feeling this resistance because now you've come up with a lot of these reasons why you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And so you're feeling this resistance just boiling inside you. Before you know it, you didn't do it. You will never do it. You ignore it as if it didn't even happen as an idea.
Again, other barriers. Like you just keep putting, but that's why I'm saying, like, for anybody who's thinking about, like, I have to have a perfect...
Like, literally, you've just blown holes into my whole plan.
Imagine.
For starting my podcast. Literally, you've just...
gun. My advice would just be, like, just go and do it. Because, trust me, you'll be so shocked. Because a lot of people also, was telling you behind the scenes, a lot of people like, hey, how can you afford this? How can you do this and everything? And I'll just tell you, like, even as much as I don't have like 100K subscribers and stuff, like just podcasting has changed so much with just my network, things that I can do on the side, like investment plans, how I'm making my money, like even when we're talking about passive income. And I'm just thinking about, like, you know what I'm just trying to think, like, okay, let's say if I had 100,000 subscribers, I think I don't even want to imagine what that means. Because if you have such numbers, you need to understand the power that you have. Because like for me, I'm just at 2,000 subscribers. Okay, downloads probably like 10,000 downloads.
But still, there's quite an
impact. The impact, the
has.
network, like the people who've come to the podcast. Like now, if you're flying to a different country, somebody's like, yo, you remember me from my podcast? Can I meet you? Can we do this and this? I saw your episode. Like, I saw you interviewed my friend.
That's really what I'm talking about as one of the things that I really want and why I'm starting a podcast.
You have to.
Is because I genuinely want to relate to people. What happened in my life the last couple of years, I had a baby. I have a life partner now.
Yeah.
We live together and we moved a little far away from the city where there's, people, even friends, family, etc. So we moved away. Yeah. And we're just there creating our own life. And then I realized that I was missing the interaction that I love, interacting with other people, especially newer and newer people. For me, it hasn't always been, I just want to be like with my pool of friends. It's always been, I just want to keep meeting new people. So I started to realize that something was itching at me and I couldn't quite point it out. But something was itching. Something was missing. It took me a while to actually realize that I wasn't having as much human interaction as I wished for myself. And so of late, I've been trying to be really a lot more intentional with it. I'm like, I have to attend 2 events in a month. And I'm like, every weekend, if something is happening, I'm going to go for it. If an opportunity crops up for anything, I'm going to show up for it. And gradually, I'm starting to realize that I love that interaction, which is why I want to have that podcast, because I just want to talk to people. It's like my safe space of connecting to people.
You have to. Because imagine, like, even now, if you're ever, like, thinking about, like, even hosting someone or even, like, engaging them on, like, the podcast, like, whether it's phone call or something, it's these events that you go to that you will be inviting or even, like, getting people that you can partner with in so many different ways. And unto you, just bump into someone, you find, like, they're the head of something somewhere.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, by the way, I mean,
you could do this for,
this brand.
Yes, I'm looking for this.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity you
and
might
like,
be able to,
I'll tell you, like, the most craziest things, Yani, and opportunities, like, come so randomly.
Yeah.
That's why I think even for, like, my advice for Gen Z is, like, just understand everybody that you meet to, you get to meet, could single-handedly be the person who changes your life.
Yeah.
Because I think for my case, let's say I was doing, like, normal reviews, maybe probably back then I was doing, like, reviews here and there, just on my own, just going out, doing reviews before I started the podcast thing. And then I think at the time, there's a lady called Mimsy Slater, shout out to her, because she was like... doing management or something for Eat Out. I can't remember. Was it managing director or I can't remember her title. But she was like, yo, I've been seeing like what you've been posting and everything. And, would you like to give you some brands? You can go out and test them and everything. I was like, what? Just
This
go.
is a thing?
Yeah. So, I mean, you mean to tell me you can just invite me to go and...
Yeah.
She was like, yeah. And first of all, because we know you've been doing this and working with all these other people. We've seen you engaging with other people. Like, yo, apart from even that, like, we can still pay you some cash. I was like, what?
You can do that?
Plus pay me as well?
Oh,
I was like,
sweet
you know
deal.
what? Yes, I'll take it. And even that now just transformed to so many other different things. We started like getting invites for different places.
I love it.
I mean, so
honestly.
just going
Oh my
out
goodness.
as an individual, don't feel like, okay, if I'm not representing a company, I want to be respected, I want to be treated well, or fear of what might not become, or it might not transpire to something that's big. Going there,
But
putting
also
yourself out there.
There's this attachment people have to big, we have this attachment for success looks big. It has to be a big number of followers, big number of subscribers, big number of comments. It has to be big everything for it to be said to be successful. And really it's not.
It's not.
You'd be surprised how little channels that are micro influencers.
Yes.
You'd be surprised how they live off of their life, like the thing that they love the most, And I just love seeing that and seeing how that's changing. People's minds are like, oh, wait a minute. I just need my tribe. I don't need the whole world to watch me. I don't need the whole of Africa to watch my podcast. Just my people. Just the people who resonate.
You just need a few people and grow with them.
Grow with them.
And I think that's the whole thing. The journey has to be there for you to appreciate and respect it.
I think
if the journey is not there,
you're not
like,
gonna see it for what it is.
You won't.
Yeah.
You won't. If you posted a video today, you have like 1 million views, okay, and then 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Do you know the pressure now you have to maintain?
Oh my
1 million views per week.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know what you have to do to maintain that audience.
yeah.
It's crazy. And I think even we see it even in music. Like there are people who like chuck like one song, it blows up. And then after like 2 or 3 others,
they're not able to handle.
It's too much pressure.
It's too much pressure
You
because you
can't
needed
handle
to at least have a couple of years of growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing is very, very important, my goodness. So that when success gets to you, you can actually handle it.
You'll be okay.
You'll be
Because
fine.
it'll just be another day in the office. You just go produce something else. If it's content, you produce, you release.
Oh my
Produce,
God, I love
release.
it.
If it's moving around, you're already used to like from like, let's say the weddings. I'm sure you travel to so many different locations. Whether it's hot, dusty, today it's cold, today it's... So now, you mean to tell me now if you're put in any situation, you just like, you know what? Yeah.
I can do it.
It can't be like, one day client tells you to come to a place where it's hot, extremely maybe hot or cold, and then you start talking about like toxic work environment. Nah.
Yeah.
No.
We weren't even given water.
What?
We never complained about anything. I wish, wow.
Water is the least. It's the least of your worries.
Oh my goodness. We just wanted to get the job done. Like we weren't even drinking water because we don't want to pee in the middle of like working. You're timing yourself.
Need to be focused.
We're getting things done.
What would you say like